Welcome, everyone. I'm John Ryan for the Predictive Playbook. Welcome to the Major League Baseball predictions and picks for Monday, August the 7th, 2023. Let's get right to it. I want you to know, too, that I'm on a 38-14, 72% win streak in Major League Baseball. It goes back to essentially the beginning of July 1st, 2nd area, and I encourage you to get on board. I have two 8-unit Major League Baseball best bets going today for $25, and if you purchase that package, I'll give you my week 0 best bet of that week in college football absolutely free. So take advantage of that. You'll see the details on how to pay for it very shortly. So on today's show, we're going to talk about a system that is what I commonly call blackjack systems, and I really like these because it really illustrates why these betting systems are so powerful and why, when you play them in a disciplined format over the course of a season, why they make so much money and why you can be confident that they will continuously generate money over the course of the season. So, of course, there's going to be times where the system's not going to work and it's going to lose. And, at the end of the day, if it loses 12-2 on any given day, really, who cares? Because we know that over many, many years, sometimes decades, it has not had a losing season, and that's reason to believe that the following season is going to be equally as profitable. So let's take a look at this thing. And we're looking at betting on road underdogs between 125 and 175. The host is coming off 3 consecutive losses to a divisional foe, which unfortunately for Red Sox Nation, that has happened. The host, being the Red Sox, has won between 50 and 55% of their games on the season. And that record right there, 14-7, folks, over the last 5 years, 64% winning bets, taking a dog that has averaged 155 wager. So you're betting on teams that are a 155 dog, and you're winning 67% of the time. That's a 64% return on investment over the past 5 seasons. That also means that the $100 bettor has made $1,432 betting $100 per game, just following what I just outlined in those parameters. So the reason we call this a blackjack system is that if you played 21 hands at the local casino or your favorite place to go to play blackjack, say you won 14 hands, you would make roughly $700 in profit if you were betting $100 per hand. Not a bad night for playing blackjack, that's for sure, and only 21 hands, you must have been pretty hot. Nevertheless, this system here paid out $1,432, which is more than double what you would have got sitting at a blackjack table, and that is the power of this system. So you'll never get odds of plus 155 on a winning blackjack bet ever in the history of the world, as long as casinos and sports books are in operation. That was a recipe for sure losses, and they would never do it. It would never ever be considered. But this system is reality, and it has done extraordinarily well, as you can see here over the last 5 seasons. And over the last 20 seasons, it has had only 2 losing seasons, and that both by 1 game under 500. The other one was 500 record. So it basically was not a losing season, but just did not make any profit. It just made 0 for that season. So this is one of the best ones I can present and give to you as a free pick for tonight. Weather considerations in the Boston area have to be considered. Make sure you check out the local forecast for Boston, as there is a wave of some severe storms coming through the middle Atlantic. Whether that will extend up to Boston may not happen, but you want to be aware of it. But this pitching matchup, if that is the same pitchers as today and they're lined in tomorrow for a doubleheader in a day-night format, then you definitely want to consider getting on the Kansas City Royals, coming off their losing series at Philadelphia when they take on the reeling Boston Red Sox, either tonight or the first game of a day-night doubleheader tomorrow. One last thing, we got to be looking at the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres here for a second. I put this out on a tweet at John Ryan Sports, the number 1. You can see this data right there. In fact, you can download it and do what you want with it. But let's look at this. Since the All-Star break, the Cubs are 16-7, the best record in baseball since that period. The season ended yesterday. Cub fans, you would be a wild card team, and it's kind of hard to believe that they'd come all the way back. But they and the Padres right now are actually winning more games than the Dodgers, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Rangers, the Twins, the Braves, and the Astros and the Mariners. And what do those teams have in common? They would be in the playoffs too, and many of them would be divisional champions. So the Cubs are scoring 7.13 runs per game, allowing 5, which isn't all that good, but they've outscored their opponents by 49 runs since the All-Star break, by far the best in Major League Baseball, with the Padres outscoring their opponents by 37 runs during this span. I can't emphasize enough that the teams that are in the wild card in the National League right now, the Phillies, the San Francisco Giants, better keep an eye on that rearview mirror, because the Cubs and the Padres are going to make things quite exciting here going down the stretch. And after all, do you really want to face either of those teams' offensive lineups right now if you're contending for a wild card berth? I would think not. So just food for thought, as the market has not caught up to the Cubs and the Padres. I think there's value almost every day in betting those teams, especially if they fall behind during the first 3 innings. You get an extraordinarily cheap line at that point. And just use pizza money and test it out, and I'm sure you're going to see the excitement of being able to bet a team that's behind and they come back and win. And let's not forget, the Philadelphia Phillies lead the major leagues in come from behind wins this year. So that's another team to put on your radar should they fall behind any of the 4 games against those lowly Washington Nationals, who actually are trying to overtake the Mets for the basement in the National League East standings. So that will conclude today's show. I hope you liked it. Leave any comments and questions in the comments section, and take advantage of that opportunity I mentioned earlier with the 2-unit bets in baseball, plus the college football 8-unit best bet for week 0, provided absolutely free if you get the pair of Major League Baseball today. 72% over the last 52 releases, running pretty hot, seeing the card well. I hope you join me tonight, and until tomorrow, always remember the most important thing is to bet with your head, not over it. And may all the wins be yours.